Hello and welcome to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. I'm County Executive John Leopold. This week's show has legislative updates from the County Council, investigation information from both the police and fire departments, and a behind-the-scene look at the Department of Inspections and Permits. This is your chance to get caught up on all the county's news, sports, and community features. Stay with us. Anne Arundel County Week in Review is next.
Hello, I'm Rhonda Wardlaw, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Making headlines this week, County Executive John Leopold announced his proposed FY08 budget, which contains no new taxes on property or income.
I am proposing a property tax rate of 89.1 cents per $100 of assessed valuation. While the rate represents a 2.7 cent reduction from the current rate, we are at the same time maximizing the revenue we can obtain under the tax cap. We have limited the growth in the county budget to 3.7% compared to a growth in personal income of 5.5%.
The $1.2 billion operating and $3 billion capital budget has more than $812 million earmarked for schools, a nearly $58 million increase over last year's approved budget. This budget includes funding to add 111 new teachers and increased resources in every category requested by the school system's budget, except administration.
I have heard the call from citizens for fiscal discipline and have crafted a spending plan that provides resources to fund teacher and school principal raises, upgrade school facilities, preserve hundreds of acres of land, and establish a roadmap for growth and development. A budget must be more than a ledger sheet. It should have a heart and serve as a blueprint for a better quality of life for all residents.
The budget also calls for a 6% raise for teachers and principals, expands the International Baccalaureate program at Annapolis, Meade, and Old Mill middle schools, and includes funding of $200,000 for teachers' training needed for the IB program, along with other programs. The budget also fully funds the school board's request to add 12 pupil personnel workers to monitor and provide outreach to truant students, and adds 5 school resource police officers to ensure a safe and secure learning environment for middle school students and staff.
We have already seen the benefit of school resource officers at North County and Broadneck High Schools, where crises have been averted. I have directed the police department to work in consultation with the school board to determine the most effective placement of these new officers. With us this morning is School Resource Officer Adam Koch, who was assigned to Broadneck High School. A 15-year-old 10th grade student was choking in the school cafeteria, and Officer Koch restored the choking student's airway and saved her life. Please join me in showing our appreciation to Officer Koch for his service. Officer.
Half of this budget is devoted to school, with exact percentage of 49.9%, the highest percentage of the county's budget devoted to schools in the 42-year history of Anne Arundel County charter government. While the county executive's environmental message came through loud and clear in the budget message, Public Information Officer Dave Abrams joins us more with that.
Rhonda, this week in his budget message, County Executive John Leopold said that preserving South County is a priority, not just a slogan. To that effect, he announced that he is filling 10 positions in the Department of Inspections and Permits to make sure that environmental laws are strictly enforced.
Government is a most important steward of our irreplaceable open space, and this budget makes commitments to protect the environment. In the Department of Planning and Zoning, I lifted the hiring freeze to fill vacancies related to completing the General Development Plan. I have also filled 10 previously vacant inspector positions in the Department of Inspections and Permits to make sure the department is more consumer-friendly and equipped to strictly enforce environmental protection laws.
Another top priority in the county executive's budget is to preserve open space. Several steps have already been taken in that regard, including plans for the Naval Academy Dairy Farm in Gambrills, where programs such as community gardens and other features are being worked on as we speak. There's also money in the budget for positions to facilitate the general development plan. Basically, that is a blueprint for growth and development for the future of the county, and we encourage all county residents to take part.
Thanks, Dave. Other highlights in the proposed budget include improvements in public safety, which consist of additional supervisors and training at the 911 center, a multi-year program to install streetlights in high-crime areas, and funding for 30 new firefighters for the Annapolis Neck Fire Station. Now, funding for renovations and improvements to public facilities were received well by all those who attended the address.
With more than 500 miles of shoreline and scores of beautiful parks in our county, I would be remiss not to point out the recreation improvements in this budget. I've included $2 million to renovate the Quiet Waters Ice Rink. Quiet Waters Park welcomed nearly 50,000 moms, dads, and kids in a single winter month. Unfortunately, the ice rink was plagued by failing equipment. After 3 years of closed doors, it is time to reopen for business. The facility should be completed by the winter of 2009.
Thousands of young athletes also stand to benefit from the proposed budget.
So I would like to announce that all of our varsity fields will be fitted with safety turf and available for public use. This budget includes $2.2 million to begin the process and a total of $8.8 million over 4 years. Broadneck High School parents and boosters have already financed a safety turf field that has become a major attraction, and the county will help them repay their debt for the upgrade.
County Executive Leopold also looked to the needed infrastructure to accommodate the BRAC explosion expected in the county.
In this budget, I am including $108,000 to apply for a $432,000 federal grant to purchase 3 buses and add a new mass transit route around Fort Meade. Big ideas are important, but small ways to move toward that larger vision are critical.
The county executive concluded his address with a call to citizens and fellow lawmakers.
As always, I look forward to engaging the citizens of this county to attain this worthy goal and continuing a collaborative relationship with the Council, the General Assembly, and our congressional delegation. Working together, we will achieve excellence. Thanks for listening.
Now that County Executive Leopold has presented his budget to the County Council, the process is not over. Governmental Relations Director Alan Friedman joins us. Alan, for many, this is just the beginning of the process.
That's right, Rhonda. The process of enacting a budget for the county has shifted into high gear as County Executive Leopold introduced his $1.2 billion operating budget, together with $3 billion in capital improvement projects. Submission of the budget was the culmination of the executive's review of county revenue and spending estimates that began almost literally the day he took office last December. Meeting with county budget officials and his department heads, the executive crafted a budget that is, as he said in his message to the County Council, fiscally prudent and socially responsible. The Council has begun hearings during which each department presents its part of the budget, and the Council will review these appropriation requests. On Wednesday, May 9th, and again on Monday, May 14th, the public will have their opportunity to present their opinions on the spending plan. The May 9th hearing will be held at Old Mill High School, while the May 14th meeting will be at the Arundel Center. Both hearings will start at 7 p.m. The Council is required to adopt the budget before June 1st. Citizens can review the entire budget online at the county's website, www.aacounty.org. The budget can be accessed through the quick link on the right-hand side of the page.
Thanks, Alan. Well, the budget address can be viewed in its entirety on Channel 98 on both Comcast and Millennium, and on Channel 38 on Verizon. In other local news, Anne Arundel County Executive John Leopold is requesting $6 million in program open space money to buy the proposed Target shopping center property at Wason's Corner. Joining us now with more information on this is County Attorney John Hodgson.
Hello, Rhonda. You know, since taking office in December, County Executive John Leopold has been very aggressive in pursuing a policy of protecting as much land as possible for open space and parkland. That effort has been very successful. In just 5 months, he has secured 547 forested acres of the 1,200-acre Crownsville Hospital Center. Also, he has submitted a proposal to enter into a long-term lease for the Naval Academy Dairy Farm located in Gambrills. Just this week, he announced his intention to acquire 30 acres of environmentally sensitive land in Lothian with the use of money from the State of Maryland Open Space Fund. This means that taxpayer dollars are not used in the purchase. This site, recently the focus of much community concern regarding commercial development, is adjacent to more than 1,400 acres of wetlands, forests, and meadows along the Patuxent River, known as the Jug Bay Wetland Sanctuary and the Glendenning Nature Preserve at Jug Bay. In addition to furthering his policy of protection of open space, this acquisition is also consistent with the county executive's policy of retaining the rural nature of the southern portion of Anne Arundel County. Rhonda, this is a policy that will go a very long way to protect the environment, preserve wetlands, and add an important parcel to the county's inventory of public lands for the benefit of all county residents. Now back to you.
Thanks, John. And County Executive Leopold will submit a supplemental budget request next week to the County Council requesting the money. This recent action will prevent development on the approximate 30-acre tract and avoid an adverse impact on nearby Galloway Creek, which runs through the nature preserve at Jug Bay.
This is extremely important because that land, even though it's zoned commercial, clearly should be in the interest of the public that lives there in an open space condition. It's extremely important because that land is situated between two other preserved lands, the Patuxent River Sanctuary to the north, the Paris-Glendenning Land Preservation Area in Jug Bay to the south. So it preserves a greenway, a strip of preserved land that runs quite a long distance.
The property is located at the intersection of Southern Maryland Boulevard, Route 4, and Sands Road. The previously proposed shopping center on the site called for more than 260,000 square foot of retail space, including a Target, other small shops, restaurants, and a bank. The developer has withdrawn plans for this commercial project in response to citizen and environmental concerns. And by the way, the land under the program Open Space would be kept as a park to permit wildlife to travel between Jug Bay and the Patuxent River Sanctuary. Well, members of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,613 calls this week. This included 1,250 emergency medical calls and 197 calls for fire. This week, a young pilot got quite a scare when the plane that he was operating did some unexpected maneuvers. Here to tell us more about the incident is Battalion Chief Michael Cox.
Rhonda, around 10:30 on Sunday morning, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported aircraft emergency at the Tipton Airfield located at 7500 General Aviation Drive in Fort Meade. The first units to arrive on the scene reported that a single-engine aircraft had crashed about 3/4 the way down the runway. It is unclear how the crash occurred. However, witnesses at the scene stated that the pilot was practicing touch-and-go landings when the incident occurred. Some of the witnesses said that it appeared that the plane had just flipped over on its roof and broke right in half. The pilot, a 27-year-old male, suffered head and arm injuries as a result of the incident. He was treated at the scene by fire department paramedics and was ultimately transported via state police helicopter to the shock trauma unit at the University of Maryland Hospital in Baltimore.
Fire officials advise that the plane was a single-engine CTS Light Sport and that the Maryland State Police are currently investigating the incident. Well, recently, the Anne Arundel County Police Department conducted a series of DUI checkpoints. Now, historically, these checkpoints have been an effective strategy for removing drunk or drugged drivers from the roadways. During previous checkpoints in Anne Arundel County, 350 arrests for DUI and 100 arrests for drug offenses have been made after making contact with nearly 62,290 vehicles. Corporal Mark Shockey from the County Police Department joins us to provide a list of clues that motorists can use to be on the lookout and help assist police officers to actually find these impaired drivers.
Thank you, Rhonda. The Police Department would like to encourage all of our motoring citizens to assist in the detection of drivers impaired by either alcohol or drugs. There is a small list of clues that anyone who drives can be on the lookout for. Observing one or more of these clues and immediately reporting the suspect vehicle to the police will assist officers in apprehending these dangerous drivers. As a reminder, we are encouraging drivers to look for these clues. However, for your safety, it would be advisable to pull over before using your cell phone to report what you have observed to the police. Some of the clues to be on the lookout for are weaving, drifting, or swerving, otherwise known as problems staying in one lane, driving into opposing traffic, turning with a wide radius, signaling inconsistent with driving. An example would be a left turn signal activated and making a right turn, stopping either too far away from a curb, stopping beyond the stop line at an intersection, or stopping in the middle of the road for no apparent reason, turning illegally, appearing to be either impaired or drowsy. It is important to remember, when a citizen makes a call to report a possible impaired driver, provide as much information as possible: make, model, color, and tag number of the vehicle. Also, give the location you last observed the vehicle and its direction of travel. Back to you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Corporal. Well, the Anne Arundel County Department of Health and more than 50 community partners kicked off the county's Healthy Babies campaign this week. The event was held at the Mead Village Community Center in Severn and marked the launch of the information effort to help women in the community have healthy pregnancies and raise healthy babies. County Health Officer Fran Phillips was on hand to spread the word that the vision of the Healthy Baby campaign is for all babies to be born healthy and thrive, and it focuses on improving outcomes for African American infants.
The county executive means business when he says that he cares about infant health. For many, many years, the county executive served as a presidential appointee on the Federal Council for Infant and Toddlers, and truly does have a long-standing interest in infant health.
Now, in Anne Arundel County, African American infants have a death rate that is 3 times higher than the death rate of Caucasian babies. The Healthy Babies information campaign includes newspaper and radio ads, posters and brochures that feature phone warm lines and other community resources for pregnant women and parents as well as caregivers. County residents wanting more information can call or visit the department's website for the health department at www.aahealth.org. And joining us now is Eric Roby with sports. What do you have for us today?
Well, good day, sports fans. The winds were blowing towards the outfield fences as the Old Mill Patriots took on the North County Knights in baseball action this week. A total of 4 home runs were hit, 2 by Old Mill and 2 from North County's Matt Pace. Pace said he was feeling good before the game and seeing the ball very well. The senior third baseman went 3 for 4 on the day with a double and 2 round trippers. Pace also picked up an amazing 7 RBIs on the day. For the Patriots, Matt Wade and Justin Cohen each had solo shots, but it just was not enough, as the Knights went on to win this one 11-4. In other baseball action, Chesapeake and Arundel both recorded shutouts this week. Sean Fleffner for the Wildcats only allowed 3 hits as the Wildcats took care of the Patriots 12-zip. And Justin Roby, you know he's got to be good with a last name like that, took care of the Annapolis Panthers 10-0. Moving over to the ladies' side of the ball diamond, we saw a pitcher's duel for most of the game in our Game of the Week. North County High School is where the feisty Severna Park Falcons traveled to visit the Knights. Severna Park junior Sarah Castelli kept this game under control on the pitcher's mound for the Falcons, striking out 9. On the other side, Heather Karasak struck out 11 for the Knights. The Falcons just had a few more offensive weapons to provide the firepower. McNabb and Sullivan delivered 2 RBIs apiece for the Falcons as they went on to defeat the Knights 4-2. On the tennis courts, there were many close matches this week, but none closer than the Bulldogs from Southern, who were able to sneak out of Cougar Country with a 5-4 team victory. This contest came down to the final match of the afternoon when Maloney and Benson were able to pull off the mixed doubles victory and give the Bulldogs that victory. Our chart toppers for this week, we're going to take a look at the standings for all county sports as we're just a few weeks away from those wonderful playoffs. In baseball, preseason experts were right. Arundel is at the top of the charts with an undefeated county record and 13-4 overall record. In softball, the Cougars from Chesapeake have fell from the top slot to number 2 at 14-2. Spalding takes over the lead for top ladies team in the county at 14-3. Severna Park and Broadneck are the 2 top public high school lacrosse teams to beat, both at 10-2. The Falcons and the Bruins are also the leaders on the ladies' LAC side at 12-0 and 10-1, respectively. In tennis, the Falcons continue to dominate at 10-0 in team play. And on to track and field, we find Meade as the number 1 boys squad, and Annapolis takes the top spot for the ladies.
And now it's time to Stump the Sports Guy.
Well, thank you, Announcer Guy. It is my favorite time of the Sportscast. This week's question comes from our own county executive, John Leopold. When the county executive sends in a question, you know everyone in the county wants to try and stump the sports guy. County Executive Leopold writes, in 1950, the Philadelphia Phillies had a group of players known as the Whiz Kids. Can you name the manager of the team and how they finished the 1950 season? Well, I know County Executive is a great baseball fan, and County Executive Leopold, I must admit, I needed to do a little research on this one, but I did find that this very young and very talented team was managed by Eddie Sawyer. And the Whiz Kids had a fantastic 1950 season. They were able to make it past the mighty Brooklyn Dodgers. However, the Whiz Kids were no match for the other New York team, those dreaded New York Yankees, as they fell to the New York Yankees in the World Series 4-0. Rhonda, that wraps up the Sportscast for us today. I'll send it back over to you.
Thanks so much, Eric, and we hope that you'll stay with us. We still have much more to come on this edition of Anne Arundel County Week in Review.
Sure, they're juicy and delicious. But did you know fruits like melon and mango are packed with vitamin A to help you see better? Eating fruit can also help make your teeth, skin, and hair healthy and strong. Can your food do that? Run, throw, think, eat better. Find out more at smallstep.gov.
Hello and welcome back to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. I'm County Executive John Leopold. Today, I'm pleased to announce a contest that will help promote the best that Anne Arundel County has to offer. It's a logo contest, and I'm calling on students, employees, and citizens of the county to design a unified recruitment logo for Anne Arundel County government. The logo should represent the quality of life experienced here while promoting the benefits of living and working in Anne Arundel County. Joining me to talk more about the contest is County Assistant Personnel Officer Trish Hopkins. Trish, it's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about this contest.
Well, obviously we're very excited about it in the Office of Personnel. We've been working for a while now with the Interdepartmental Recruitment Committee and generating ideas about how to really promote the county, because we're all dedicated, loyal employees, and we really want to get that kind of message out to others as well. And kind of borrowing from other marketing schemes and other corporate and other kinds of business enterprises, somebody came up with the idea of a logo contest to get our brand. I guess in the industry, a brand is really your logo, your unified theme, what kind of identifies, everybody knows the Nike symbol. Everybody knows Microsoft and other organizations that have very distinctive either symbols or the way they portray their organization or their business. And we thought, why not do something like that for Anne Arundel County? And then as we got to working through it and say, you know, we have some expertise, we have some ideas, but do we really have the talent? And where can we find that talent? So we said, well, let's take it out there. Let's have a contest.
I think it's a great idea to involve the school children also. I happen to think that the arts are primary, not secondary, in our culture.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I used to paint. People say, well, why don't you pick up a paintbrush and continue your painting? But I like to give 100%. I don't just dabble at it. But I really think it's good to involve young people in the arts early on in any way we can. Now, what part of this logo is going to have my picture with my sign on it? Just kidding, just kidding.
We'll put you on the brochure.
But I think it's great, though, to involve people. And, anytime that they can think imaginatively and tie it in also with the county government, I think that's good. And I always talk about simplicity, but clearly, like in the Greek culture, with the Greek temples, just the elegance of the simplicity. So I would urge the contestants to think about simplicity because, I kid about my sign, of course, but when I stood on the road with my sign, it just had one word, Leopold. And because people, when they're driving down the road, they have a hard enough time seeing one word, let alone two or three. The same thing applies to a logo, in my judgment, that simplicity is something you want to strive for. I mean, how do you feel?
I absolutely agree, because what we would like to do is, as we do our outreach, as we try to go out there and encourage people to really consider Anne Arundel County as maybe not their first choice, but that's my preference, their first choice in terms of an employer, at least consider Anne Arundel County. We have such a variety and depth of talent and service that's offered through our many county employees. We're looking for a way to, when the police department goes out, when our public works department goes out, when fire, any agency goes out, that we have something that's like, oh, that's Anne Arundel County government.
And this is a really exciting time for this county with the BRAC explosion, all the growth coming in Fort Meade, in the western part of the county. But we are at the center, the heartbeat of the defense industry. And we're situated right between the Baltimore-Washington markets. I mean, we're ideally situated to be a leader in this whole region.
We are, and why not be recognized? Quickly, efficiently, like you say, simply.
Who can take part in the contest?
Well, we're going to judge people in 3 different categories. Artists, obviously, or anybody that really is a dabbler is what we're interested in. So we've kind of segregated it from the citizens of the county to students. As you said before, we are interested in students. We are looking for middle school, high school, or college students who attend school, private or public, in this county. And we're also looking for county government employees, because also, we have a lot of talent within our ranks already.
Where can people go to get information?
On our website, www.aacounty.org. It's very clearly in our upper right-hand corner with news and information. And you can get all the details about our submission, about how to submit.
Phone number?
Phone number. You can call our Office of Personnel at 410-222-7595.
I also tell people all you have to remember is the number 2.
That's right.
That's my hotline. So if you can't get through to a personnel office, just call 222-2222 and people can find a live human being who will direct them to your office.
That's true. I think we have many good ways to get a hold of us.
Well,
and
great.
this contest is going to run, it's already started. We officially opened on Monday the 16th.
Oh, wow.
And we'll take submissions up through May 31st.
Great. Well, thanks again for your participation.
Oh, you're welcome.
And the County Week in Review will be back after this message.
Maryland state law requires all dogs, cats, and ferrets 4 months of age or older to be vaccinated against rabies. County Executive John R. Leopold wants to make sure your pets get their vaccinations.
This is County Executive John Leopold, urging you to make sure that your cat and dog are licensed and vaccinated. It's the law, and we want you to comply with the law, but we also want you to do it because you love your pet and you want to take good care of them. Isn't that right, Dora? Yes.
Due to the significant increase in positive rabies cases experienced in Anne Arundel County, Animal Control is doing its part to help protect all Anne Arundel County pets from the deadly rabies virus. Animal Control now holds weekly low-cost rabies clinics. Keep your pets constantly vaccinated against rabies. It's the law.
Welcome back to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. I'm Betsy Kirkpatrick Howard here at Animal Control Headquarters at 411 Maxwell Fry Road in Millersville, Maryland. I would like to introduce you to two of the many animals who are hopefully temporarily calling animal control home. The cat we're featuring this week is named Brandy. Brandy was a stray. She is approximately 6 to 7 months old. She is a domestic short hair, black and white. When she was found, she was pregnant, even though she is only 6 or 7 months old. She has since given birth to one kitten, who I believe is also available for adoption. But this really is an opportunity to emphasize how important it is to have your animals neutered and spayed so that these circumstances don't happen again. Very nice kitten, and I'm sure that she would love to go home with you. The dog we're featuring this week is named Loud. Loud was a stray. Loud actually was found in the Maryland City Dog Park. Apparently it was abandoned there because it was found in a confined area. It did have a collar on, but there was nobody around, so someone apparently chose to abandon it in the dog park, which is certainly better than abandoning it on the highway, but still not recommended. Loud is a beagle. He is male. He is approximately 8 months old. Seems as cute as he can be. He's a little rambunctious, but he is 8 months old, and he is a beagle. If you're interested in either of these two pets, please come to Animal Control Headquarters. If they're not available, there are many other animals who would love to go home with you. Animal Control will be holding their annual Adopt-a-thon on Saturday, May 12th from 10 until 2 p.m. Along with the many cats and dogs that will be looking for a new home, you will find rescue groups and other persons and organizations involved in welfare of animals in this area. Additionally, there will be lots of fun for the entire family, including pony rides, a fly-in by the police helicopter, and tours of the helicopter, and that's always a really popular one. A visit by McGruff, the police dog, face painting, there will be canine demonstrations, and of course there will be food. So please join us on May 12th. This is a great event, and it's always been very successful, and we're sure it will be successful again this year. And now back to the studio.
Thanks, Betsy. Well, in last week's segment of the county's Department of Detention Facilities, Superintendent Robin Harting tackled some common myths about corrections. Today, she takes on more.
That's right, Rhonda. Last week, I explained that there is a difference between jails and prisons, that correctional institutions are staffed by correctional officers, not guards, that inmates are not limited to one phone call when they are admitted to jail, that in most jails, inmates eat their meals in housing areas rather than a dining hall, and that most inmates are housed in dormitory or shared living style housing versus cells. This week, I'll start with another myth related to inmate housing, and that is that correctional facilities have a place called solitary confinement for bad inmates. Granted, that's a slang expression which probably originated in the movies. Regardless of where it came from, the name is attached to a legitimate correctional practice, and that is addressing bad behavior on the part of inmates. The myth is that we do so by locking them away in solitary confinement, which conjures up images of dark, dank cells where they're fed bread and water. In truth, there are inmates who must be segregated. These are inmates who have proven to be a danger to other inmates or to staff, and/or inmates who have been found guilty of violating a rule and whose sanction is disciplinary segregation. Inmates on segregation are assigned to well-lit, space standards compliant cells, sometimes with a cellmate, sometimes alone, where they are locked in 23 hours a day. In the remaining hour, they are allowed to collect phone calls, shower, and exercise within the day room. Privileges, such as outdoor recreation, visiting, and commissary, are restricted if ordered by the disciplinary hearing officer. Food is never withheld. In fact, segregated inmates receive the same food as the rest of the population. Inmates remain on segregation until the disciplinary time is completed or until it is determined that they are no longer a danger. A second myth is that inmates are allowed to have personal items sent into them. This, too, may have originated in Hollywood, with whatever movie included a scene where a file was sent to an inmate in a cake. Well, in truth, that provides a great example of why we don't allow items to be mailed in, and that is contraband. We do, however, accept clothing for inmates to wear to court and books, provided they are mailed directly from the publisher. Please consult our website if you need information on how this works. Another myth, one that is related to correctional officers, is that they carry weapons within the facilities. In fact, officers who are members of our Special Operations Response Team, including those assigned to segregation units, are trained in and carry pepper spray. Other than that, no weapons are carried within jails, so there is no possibility an officer could be disarmed. Rather, officers are trained in self-defense tactics. Just one caveat to our no weapons policy. Officers assigned to the recreation yard tower and to transporting inmates are armed. And just one more myth I want to address today. Corrections is man's work. Well, I hope the fact that I'm talking to you demonstrates otherwise, but in case it does not, you should know that women comprise over a third of the total staff of the county's correctional facilities. Among security personnel, almost a quarter are women. You should also know that women on our staff, including myself, are not subject to any different inmate behaviors than our men. Our motto of give respect, get respect works, regardless of gender. And that's a great segue for closing by telling you that next week, in honor of National Correctional Employees Week, I'll talk to you about career opportunities within our department. Back to you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Robin. In this week's Recreation and Park segment, Mark Garrity, Chief of Natural and Cultural Resources, is interviewing Park Ranger Adam Smith about the department's Resource Conservation and Protection Program. Mark.
Thanks, Rhonda. My name is Mark Garrity. I am the Chief of Natural and Cultural Resources for the Department of Recreation and Parks for Anne Arundel County, and we're here today to talk about the Resource Conservation and Protection Program for the county. With me today to explain a little bit more about the program is the Chief Ranger of that program, Park Ranger Adam Smith. Morning, Adam.
How you doing, Mark?
Good, thank you. Adam, can you tell us a little bit about the Resource Conservation and Protection Program, what it is and what it does around the county?
What we do in the county is we patrol the natural areas and future parklands the county owns and provide an important physical presence to those properties because these properties do not have full-time county staff and rarely have volunteers on them.
Okay, thank you. Right now we're standing at a park called Wooten's Landing Wetland Park, which is part of the Resource Conservation and Protection Program. Adam, this is a beautiful place. Tell us a little bit about it, please.
The county obtained the land in April 1st of 1973. It's about 143 acres. It is an old gravel and sand mine. The burrows were dug out to get the gravel and the sand, and it was reclaimed by the state when they widened Route 50. And it is an absolutely great place to come and observe wildlife in this wetland habitat.
So this location was an old gravel pit, and now it's a beautiful, pristine natural area. What type of flora and fauna could citizens expect to find if they came for a walk out here?
You'll definitely see a lot of different birds, mammals, and reptiles. I've seen over 30 species of birds just here today while we were filming this. Bald eagle, Baltimore oriole, there's a prothonotary warbler calling back there in the background. And we have beavers, white-tailed deer, several species of snakes, lots of turtles.
How big is this park?
143 acres.
143 acres. And the whole Resource Conservation and Protection Program has about how many acres within it?
Over 5,500.
5,500 acres. And who keeps an eye on that stuff, managing those properties?
Well, besides myself, I have one seasonal employee that helps me out part of the year. And we also do a lot of patrolling with the county police and state natural resource police as well.
That sounds like more than a one-man job. What else can you tell me about the program?
We also do programming for the public. I have some bird walks coming up at our property later in the summer. I'll be doing a talk over at Downs Park on reptiles in the summer as well. We also do a lot of community service projects with community cleanups in the properties that are adjacent to them, things along those lines.
Now, those are all the good things about the Resource and Conservation Program. What are some of the issues that you face on a daily basis when you're out here managing these parklands?
Illegal activity within our properties, ATVs, dirt bikes, dumping, illegal camping, fires, alcohol.
Adam, do you have anything else to add?
If you want to come to this property, you can. You just need to contact the Jug Bay Wetlands Sanctuary. They have direct supervision of the property. You can reach them at 410-741-9330. And you have to get a permit from them to come here.
Now, what does it cost for a permit?
The permit's absolutely free.
Well, Rhonda, there you have it. Here we are at Wooten's Landing Wetland Park with Park Ranger Adam Smith and the Resource Conservation Program. Whether you're out for a family hike or you're playing spring soccer, rule number one of Recreation Parks is have fun. Thank you. And you can find out more about our programs and activities at our website, www.aacounty.org/recparks. Back to you, Rhonda.
Great, Mark. Thank you. And now, if you're looking for a job in Anne Arundel County, we turn to Assistant Personnel Officer Patricia Hopkins with more Jobs of the Week.
There are many ways to serve the citizens of this county and many career opportunities to provide personal and professional rewards. We have a very rich benefits package to offer with our pay and promotional opportunities. We are looking for qualified candidates for Planning Administrator. This is a full-time position located in the Development Division of the Office of Planning and Zoning. Work involves responsibility for planning and supervising a major phase of the county planning and zoning program. The annual salary range is $63,282 to $101,976. The minimum requirements are a bachelor's degree from an accredited four-year college or university with coursework in planning or a closely related field. 6 or more years experience in major professional planning and zoning projects to include 2 or more year lead worker or project management experience in the area of assignment, and a valid non-commercial Class C motor vehicle operator's license. The 4-year degree may be substituted for a minimum of 7 years of directly related professional level experience. Preference will be given to applicants who have 2 or more years experience in the following: supervising a staff of 7 or more, project and program management and administrative experience, 2 or more years experience in directing and coordinating the subdivision, commercial, building, and grading review process, the development of work programs, staff assignments, budget preparations, and personnel functions, including all aspects of employee performance and discipline. Applicants must possess good interpersonal skills and a demonstrated ability to interact with appointed and elected officials, citizens groups, and the development community. Our second highlighted position is for Engineer 3. This posting will be used to fill a full-time Engineer 3 position in the Utility Operations Division in the Department of Public Works. The annual salary range is $50,670 to $81,654. This position requires a bachelor's degree from an accredited 4-year college or university with a degree in engineering or related field, 4 or more years experience in professional engineering work, and possession of a valid non-commercial Class C motor vehicle operator's license. Preference will be given to candidates with mechanical or civil engineering experience or education, including planning, design, and construction of water and wastewater facilities and infrastructure, and experience in the review of capital project design documents. Please visit our website to learn more about these positions and others, or to apply online. Just click on Careers and follow the instructions to learn more about job opportunities with Anne Arundel County Government. And check out our contest to create a recruitment logo for the county under Newsflash on that website. The contest ends on May 31st. Now, let's go back to County Executive John Leopold.
That wraps up another edition of Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Thank you for joining us this week, and I hope to see you around the county. Remember, you can watch this show on television or on the internet at www.aacounty.org. Just click on Week in Review. Also, if you have an iPod, you can download this program from iTunes. Until next week, have a great, safe week.